data science for innovation. So if you want to do some new kind of things or new ideas, if you want to implement, then data science is useful for innovations. Then data science for enriching lives. So these are for health industries. Data science is useful in order to have any kind of solutions in the healthcare system also, or in healthcare industry also. So these are the different kind of needs of data science that we have already discussed. Then we have seen what is mean a big data. So the data which we can say huge in volume and which is exponentially growing in the time, which cannot be handled by your traditional database systems or like MySQL or your oracles in order to store and process efficiently. That is nothing but your big data that we have seen this definition. And what are the example of the big data? So any stock exchanges in the words is responsible for generating the data in volume. So that is also example of big data. Social media networks, whatever the social media networks which are available sites, all these are example of the big data. Airline systems which are there, which can be contribute to the big data. As well as apart from this, you are having supermarket data, Ola, Uber, capital, bike share data, all these things, weather forecasting data, surveillance systems data. So all these are the examples of big data, not only this whatever the example which is listed here. After that, we are having the 5 V's of the big data, or characteristic of the big data, that is volume, variety, velocity, veracity, and value. So these are the 5 V's are there. So already we have discussed what is meant by volume, what is meant by variety, what is meant by velocity, and what is meant by variability. So all these things that already we have seen. Then we have seen the application of data science. So these are several applications of the data science that we are having in search engine. So what are the famous search engine that you are known? So all these it is uses data science, that is Google, Yahoo, Safari, Firefox. These are some listed here examples. Then in transport, in finance, in e-commerce, in healthcare, in image recognition, the targeting recommendation, airline routing planning, data science in gaming, and delivery logistics. So these are the 10 applications. So, for what purpose these data science are used, that are explained. So up till this we have seen this till so far. Now next is data wrangling. So this is also the important concept in data science or in big data analytics. And based on this also, your first lab assignment is there. First two lab assignment, data wrangling 1 and data wrangling 2. So these are the two lab assignment that we are having. So in morning session that I have explained this concept for, I think so, T2 batch or T4 batch. So again, for T1 and T3, I will briefly explain all these things, and then we'll go to next topic. So the data wrangling is a process of cleaning and unifying messy and complex data, or it is, we can call this as one of the data pre-processing. Like, so this data, but data pre-processing only includes few limited steps. So this data wrangling is consists of the process of data pre-processing as well as some kind of analysis also it is involved. The some algorithms or techniques used for the analysis, so that is also involved. Some visualization is also involved in data wrangling. That is the difference between data pre-processing and data wrangling. Data pre-processing only related to your how to transform data and how to well format your data. So how to we can say remove the unwanted things or noisy things. That is only the things comes under data pre-processing, but it does not involve your data visualization. It does not involve your data analytics techniques, clustering technique, classification techniques. In data wrangling, all these things, the collection, processing, storage, transformation, decision making, all these things are involved. So that is only the difference between this data wrangling and the data pre-processing. So the data wrangling is a process of cleaning and unifying messy, that is the data which is a confused one. So that data we can or which having in different meanings. For one word you are having different meanings. So such a kind of data, as well as complex data which sets for the easy access and analysis. So this process typically include manually converting and mapping data from one raw form into the another format, which allow the organization or convenient organization or consumption of the data. So this is one definition that they have given. Data wrangling is again process of gathering, collecting, and transforming raw data into another format for better understanding, decision making, accessing, and analysis in less time. So that is very much important. So this is another definition that you are having. Data wrangling is a process of gathering, collecting, transforming raw data into another formats for better understanding, decision making, accessing, and analysis in less time. So also it is referred as a data mugging also. This data wrangling is also called as a data mugging. So that is also uh, it is another name that can be called. And what are the goals that we are having? So it reveals deeper intelligence by gathering data from multiple sources. So you know that in data science or big data, the sources are not limited. The sources are not a single source. You are having multiple sources through which data can be generated. Different sensors are there, different nodes are there who can contribute data. That's why the reveal in deeper intelligence by gathering the data from multiple sources. That is one of the goal. Provide accurate and actionable data in the hands of the business analyst in timely matter. So in data science project or in big data analytics project, there are different teams. So it is not only the one man project. So there are different teams which can be working on every step or every life cycle of the data science or in the big data science. That means data gathering, there is one team. Data processing, there is another team. Then data exploration, model building, there is another team. Model deployment, there is another team. Then communication and result, there is another team. Then evaluation, there is another team. So like that, different teams are involved. So every team is having their roles and responsibilities. So in data wrangling team, or the its aim is to, or goal is to provide accurate and actionable data in the hand of next team. So that is business analyst team or data analytics team in timely matter. So in earliest time that we need to provide that accurate data and actionable data. That is the goal of this data wrangling step or data wrangling. They reduce the time spent in collecting and organizing unruly data. That is, if the data is not defined with certain kind of rules, that is referred as unruly data. Before it can be utilized. So reduce the time spent the collecting and organizing unruly data before it can be utilized. So that is also the goal or objective of data wrangling that we are having. Enable data scientists and analysts to focus on analysis of the data rather than wrangling or pre-processing, we can say. So enable data scientists and analysts to focus on analysis of the data. So they should not waste their time for pre-processing purpose, how to remove this, how to transform this. They should not think. They should think about how we can extract useful rules, how we can find a pattern you can which can be useful for making good business decisions, which can be useful for making uh, big impact on the business or on the sales. So in the data scientist and data analyst should focus on the analysis of the data rather than this wrangling. So that is another one kind of things that we are having. Then drive better decision making skill by senior leaders in the organization. So that is also one of the goals that we are having. Just to wait. So drive better decision making and skills by senior leaders in the organization. So this is also the goals of the data wrangling that we are having. Then key steps to data wrangling that already uh, we have seen that goals of the data wrangling. What is meant by data wrangling? Now, what are the steps that we are having? So these are the steps that which are listed, and these are major steps they have covered only. That is data acquisition that we are having. So identify and obtain. Acquisition means to acquire, to access. So they identify and obtain access to the data within your sources. Joining data, combine the edited data for further use and analysis. So that is merging of the data. That is also the operation of the joining of the data in data wrangling. This is also the steps that we are having, and these steps we are performing in practical also. That is how to merge to list, how to merge to CSV file, how to merge to rows or columns. So that operation, that commands you are having in your Python also. So that also we will see as a part of this data wrangling assignment. Then data cleansing, redesign the data into usable and functionable format, or correct or remove any bad data. That means the missing value data, you can remove that data. So in the CSV file, suppose there are several fields which are blank, or several fields which are not applicable, which are written as a NA, or there are several fields which are entered wrong by the user. All these fields you can remove that, or you can correct that. So there are two ways: either you can fill that particular field with some kind of techniques by applying different statistical technique, like normalization or normal value that you can put, or constant value you can put. Or the another technique is you can delete that from the data set, or that row or particular field. So that is another way. So by this way you can cleanse your data or redesign your data, which can be usable and in the functional format. So these are the key steps which are involved in the data wrangling that we are having. Now these are the different functionalities. Apart from the steps, you are having different functionalities in the wrangling, or which can be used or implemented in the Python. So data exploration, we know that the exploration means we are representing the data in visual form. That is nothing but exploring. We are exploring more, and we are looking for more and more final details. So this can be done using this data exploration. So in this process, data is studied, analyzed, and understood by visualizing a represent or visualizing or representation of the data. So whatever the data representation is done, that can be done using visual objects or components, like graph you can use, histogram you can use, box plot you can use, scatter chart you can use, then pie chart you can use, so bubble chart you can use, so or geometric map you can use. So these are the different kind of visualization tools are there. Using that you can explore your data, so that you can study that data, analyze that data, and you can understand that data. So these are the things that we are having. And dealing with missing value, most of the data set having a vast amount of data which contain missing value, or NaN field like that they have added. So you can deal with that missing value. As I said, there are two approaches that you can have. Either you can fill that data with the appropriate technique, or you can delete that data. So and you can drop that particular field, so from that row or column. So that is how we can deal with the missing values that we are having. The third kind of functionality is reshaping that data. So in this process, the data is manipulated according to the requirement, where new data can be added or pre-existing data can be modified. So that is nothing but reshaping. That means we are modifying some kind of data or architecture, or we are in pre-existing data itself, we can modify that, or we are adding some new things, or new row or new column. So that is nothing but reshaping of the data. So data is manipulated. So that is also additional functionality in the Python that we can do. That is filtering of the data. Sometimes data sets are comprised of unwanted rows and columns which are required to be removed or filtered. So that is nothing but filtering of the data. So you know that filtering of the data means we are choosing some selected data. So the unwanted data we can removing the rows or columns, that are nothing but filtering. So that is also the additional functionality which comes under data wrangling. And any other. So like after dealing with all these row set and above functionality, if any requirement is there, like data analyzing, machine learning, or data visualization, or model training, that also we can cover in the data wrangling. So these are the different functionalities which comes under, or different steps also you can say. Apart from these three main steps, you can have these additional steps, that is data exploration, dealing with missing values, reshaping of the data, and filtering data, and any other so, data steps that can be comes under this data wrangling in the Python. So this is a topic regarding this, or concept of the data wrangling. So now based on this, so you are having the lab assignment 1 and lab assignment number 2, that we can see that respective practicals, or in probably the next lecture that we can see. So this is regarding this. Now the next topic from your unit is, that is a relationship between the data science and the information science. So up till now we have seen what is meant by data science, then big data, then we have seen the need for the data science, then we have seen the application of the data science, then we have seen characteristic of the data science, and then we have seen that relationship, that data wrangling. Now we'll let us see this relationship between the information Okay, so these are the points that till so far we have covered. So any doubt up to this, the definition or what is the concept of data science, the need of the data science, then application of the data science, then big data, characteristic of the big data, example of the big data, or data wrangling. So these are the points till so far that we have covered. Up till this, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Yes, anyone? No one. So are you getting or not? So Digvijay, can you tell me the definition of big data?
Hello.
Yes, Digvijay. Yes, you are audible.
Sir, big data, it's a term used to handle the higher volumes or bigger volumes of data
Okay.
in a service.
Okay. Apeksha, right. Can you modify in this or what is your view regarding big data?
Yes, sir. The data which having a huge volume which
Hmm.
cannot be handled by traditional method data set, that is Oracle, SQL and all. That is
Right,
nothing
right.
big data.
Correct. The data which is huge in volume, which cannot be handled by your traditional database system like SQL and MySQL. So such a kind of data is usually referred as a big data. That is correct. Which is a which can be a combination of your structured unstructured data. That also you can add. That is right. Good. The next is characteristic of the big data. Anvoy, can you list the characteristic of the big data or five weeds? Can you name that weeds? Parth, Tejal.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Parth, are you there? Okay, you can tell if you know any
Sir,
weeds, if you remember.
velocity, veracity,
Okay.
value.
Hmm.
uh,
Right, three weeds you have
Output.
mentioned. Now, Tejal, you can tell remaining two. One is velocity, one is volume, one is variety. That three are mentioned. Remaining two
Value,
and
uh, mm, volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value are
right.
the
These are
five
the
things.
five. Correct. Okay. Ritu, can you tell me definition of data science? That four definition that we have discussed. Any one that whatever you are remember. Shreya, Shreya Gandhi.
It is the science using which we manipulate the data.
Okay, it is a science through which we can manipulate the data. That is also referred as a data science, right? Shreya, what is your view?
Sir, data science is a concept of unified statistics, data
R-
analysis,
Right,
informatics,
right, right.
and their related methods.
Correct. Very good. And anyone now, Manthan, can you list out the applications of data science? There are 10 applications. What are applications you remember? Can you list out few? Pratik, any that are out of 10 data science in marketing, data science in like this.
Data science used in stock exchange.
Okay, right.
Sir,
Data science. Hmm.
e-commerce and healthcare.
Right. Data science in
Search
healthcare,
engines.
data science in search engine, data science is e-commerce. That is right.
Data science
Okay.
in
Yeah.
airline system.
Yeah, data science in airline system, that is also correct. Okay. So up till this we have seen this. Now next is, okay, Prati, you can unmute yourself. Sharwari, can you tell me what is meant by data wrangling? Sharwari Marathi is there, or Harshita? Anyone? Shruti?
So can I tell?
Yeah, Arya. If you are interested, you can.
Sir, it is the process of clearing the complex data sets for
Right.
easy analysis.
Right, easy analysis. It is the process of cleaning the messy and complex data set so that we can analyze in better time or in less time, or we can access and analyze the data in less time. So that is the process is referred as your data wrangling. So which include the steps like data acquisition, which include the steps like data joining, which include the steps like data exploration. There are additional functionalities also mentioned, that is data exploration, one functionality in Python which can be used for data wrangling. Then handling missing data, that is also one steps that we are having. Reshaping of the data, that is also one steps which we are having in this uh, data wrangling. So these are the additional functionalities that we are having. So up till this we have seen this part. So right, so everyone I think so is attentive. Very good, thank you. Now next we'll go towards the next topic is relationship between the data science and information science. Now these are theoretical parts, but at the same time we can see in practical session also that today we have seen that how to read the file and how to perform the operations in data wrangling. Like describe is one kind of function that we are used. Is null is one kind of function which is used for data wrangling purpose. Is null is in order to check the name itself indicate what how many nulls values are exist that are going to be found. So that null values are not applicable values, we are having one function. So is describe also the function which can tell about what are the data types that we are having, as well as d type is one kind of function in pandas library that we are having. So this pandas library we need to be install first, import first, and then we can able to perform. These are the different functions which comes for data wrangling on any kind of data set. Now today we have seen in the practical that diabetes patient data set we are having, in that we have performed one or two operations. So that we will take for remaining batches also. So there you will come to know that how this data wrangling theory part is correlated with this in your actual assignment or in actual implementation. So that you will come to know. Now moving towards next topic is that relationship between the data science and information science, or we can say what is the difference between data science and information science. See that word data and information. Now data is the word in meaning is different and information meaning is different. So data science and information science, what is the relationship that we are having? So data science is the discovery of knowledge or actionable information in the data. Information science is design and practice of the practices for storing and retrieving the information. So that you see the information science is design of practices for storing and retrieving information that you are having. And discovery of knowledge or actionable information in the data is nothing but a data science. We are looking for a knowledge or actionable information in data. So that is nothing but your data science. And information science is design of practices for storing and retrieving information. How we can retrieve the information, how we can store the information. Regarding that, or designing such a practice is referred as the information science. So data science and information science are distinct but complementary discipline. That means they will close resemble with each other. So that is complementary to each other. So but they are distinct one. So data science is heavy on computer science and mathematics. So they have shown the focus is on computer science and mathematics, where information science is more concerned with your areas such as library science, cognitive science, and communication. So that we are having. So the cognitive science means again it is collaboration with one user to another user, or what is a common opinion that we are having. That is nothing but your cognitive science. So or communications. So basically it deals with that. So this is the information science which more concerned with these three area. That is library science, that cognitive science, and communication we can call. And data science is used in the business functions, decision making, operational process such as AI, artificial intelligence, data analytics, BI, that is business intelligence, etc. But information science are used in the areas such as knowledge management, data management, and interaction design. So your relational database system comes as a part of information science. It is not part of your data science. We cannot say that. So information science are used in the areas such as knowledge management, data management, and interaction designs. How we can store the data, how we can manage the knowledge or discovery that or information that is there, and how we can do the interaction. So that is the interaction design. So this is regarding this information science that we are having. So this is a relationship between the data science or data science versus information science. If they ask, then you must remember this key things regarding this. Now, next difference between this is business intelligence and data science. So, what is meant by business intelligence? What is meant by data science? So, in this first unit itself, you will get all these definitions because there are correlated terms are always there. Data science, big data, the information science, business intelligence, AI. So, all these terms you are having, so they will compare each and every field so that you will come to know what are the significance and roles and what are the similarity, dissimilarity between all these fields that you are having. So the first is again data science and business intelligence. The concept you are having or definition itself, it is the first field that you are having. It is a field that uses mathematics, statistics, and various other tools to discover hidden pattern in the data. So that is nothing but data science. There already we have seen that definition. You can write any definition in this. Then business intelligence, again, it is basically a set of technologies, applications and processes that are used by the enterprises for the business data analysis. That is also there. It is basically a set of technologies, applications and processes that are used by the enterprises for business data analysis. So that is nothing but business intelligence. The name itself indicates it is basically set of technologies, application or processes that are used for enterprises for business data analysis. That is nothing but business intelligence. And the focus or the prime area, it focuses on the future. Business intelligence will focus on past and present. So that is important. In data science, we are focuses on the future things. Here our future data, but here we are considering the past and present. So that is important. The area of concern or area of work that we are having. Then data which we are providing in data science and data which we are handling in the business intelligence, it deals with the both structured as well as unstructured data. It mainly deals with the structured data. This business intelligence only deals with the structured data, and this will deals with the structured, unstructured, as well as we can say the semi-structured data also. That also you can add in this. So that is the difference between this data science and business intelligence that we are having. Then flexibility with respect to the another factor, that is flexibility. Data science is much more flexible as data sources can be added as per the requirement, and business intelligence is less flexible as compared to the with respect to the business context. So the data sources need to be pre-planned in order to have better business rules. We cannot real time add everything because business intelligence is usually the last steps, we can say, in data analysis process or a data science or business intelligence project that take place. So data science is much more flexible as data sources can be added as per requirement. At any time you can add new data sources in data science project. When in business intelligence, it is less flexible as compared to the data science project, but because the data sources need to be pre-planned. The method, it makes use of scientific method, it makes use of analytical methods. So these are a focused data science. They will use most of the scientific method, and they will use most of the analytical method which are listed there in the analytical method and scientific method like this. The complexity, it has higher complexity in comparison to the business intelligence, and here you are having a simple complexity with respect to the data science. And expertise, it is expertise is the data scientist, here it is a business user, it expertises business user. So these are the different kind of factors that we are having. So again I will note down this all these factors as well as questions and tools which can be used. So it deals with the question what will happen and what if, and the business intelligence, it deals with the question what happened. So these are the questions which gives the answer regarding data science and business intelligence, and what are the tools which are used in the data science and what are the tools which are used in the business intelligence that we are having. The tools are SAS, that is SAS, big machine learning, MATLAB, Excel. Here you are having Insight Squared, Sales Analytics, Clip, Clipolio, then ThoughtSpot, SciF, TIPCO, Spotify. All these are the different tools which are used for the business intelligence. So these are the listed tools. You can name whatever you can know to you, and this is not limited. Again, there are different tools that we are having. For Tableau, also one tool which can be used in business intelligence, also for data visualization. That is very good tools that nowadays it is used. So these are the different factors which are listed here in order to distinguish between business intelligence and data science. So again, I will show these factors, that is concept, focus, data, then you are having flexibility, method, complexity, expertise, questions, and tools. So these are the I think so 7 or 8 factors which are listed here. So and the which differentiate between your business intelligence and data science. So we'll stop here, and in next lecture we'll see with the data science life cycle. So this life cycle that in next lecture we will start. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop here. Okay. Thank you.